for some of these newer players, you know, and it rises for the veterans.
Well, rising up to the occasion, I guess, will be us going into the vetoes right now for a best of 3. We just heard Heku talking about, you know, a mutual map ban. Is there a crossover, Kasad?
Obviously, Nuke is not going to be there, and Vertigo ban from Liquid, which was kind of surprising. I expected Ancient to be there, but they went for Vertigo, and Dust 2 pick for players. That's for me like one of the weaker maps in my mind, because
it's Liquid's pick.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was the Liquid's pick then. So that's kind of, I guess, expected. An overpass coming from players. Ooh. Also one of their strongest signature maps for them. So.
But they did lose yesterday.
I did expect Mirage to be in the first 2, to be quite honest with you, but they decided something else. I guess they have some plan in mind, and Ancient is going to be the first one out in the second stage of the veto from Liquid, which was expected. I don't think they wanted to play Ancient against players, and Mirage should be the one that's... Or Inferno should be the one that's going out next.
So for this overpass pick, Yanko, I mean, they dropped this map to Godsend. You know, for example, they dropped it on the back of what was a pretty rough CT side. Is that something they could play in today?
Yeah, it could. I was just curious to see what Liquid's ban is going to be, right? Because you would think it's going to be Ancient straight up, because it was initially their ban. But I wanted to see, you know, they were willing to play Ancient in the groups here. So do they feel like actually it's better than some of the other maps? And they actually feel more comfortable on Ancient than they do on Vertigo. So that was interesting to see. And also for players to pick Overpass, like we know it's been their staple last year, especially in big games, in playoffs and whatnot. But Liquid was undefeated on Overpass until like December last year, right? Like, which is, you know, low key. They didn't play it many times, but they were really, really good on the map. So maybe players feel like that with this new lineup, they probably didn't have as much time to play all the maps, so their level on Overpass shouldn't be as high to compete, be able to compete. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like the basics, the foundation of that map, like you said, they played it really good, and the basics and the foundation should be there to at least make it competitive.
Yeah, it should all be there. All the fixins are there. We could talk about tomato, ketchup, pickles, whatever the hell you put on a sandwich. No one actually cares. Like, I just want to throw that out there. No one cares what you put on your sandwich. What I do care about is getting into this last best of 3 of this group. Players, Team Liquid, ready to square off on Nuke first. Or wait, that's not right.
Anders puts tuna on his sandwich.
Ugh, Anders puts tuna on his pizza. Ugh.
Yeah. Hell yes. We have to, those of us who like tuna on pizza have to band together. We have to be proud and be strong. We're not gonna be shamed any longer.
I put mayo on every sandwich and Stunna. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
Is a really good choice, Mari. I like it. I like this game as well. We're starting off on Dust 2, in fact, easily confused by Nuke. I could see how Tatresk could make that mistake, but it is in fact Dust 2.
We're here. We're here in the B tunnels. Can't mistake this position for anywhere else on any other map in the history of Counter-Strike.
Oh, they're not gonna wait. This is pretty straightforward, it feels like. Smoke has been set up. They put in a flashbang as well. I don't know why they're not running. I feel like, are they just expecting a peek? That's a very interesting way to approach this. But now, they're finally gonna go for it. Hobbit! Oh dear! Looking for one last headshot. Does he have it in him? 4 bullets left now, just the one, and he's gonna get a chance to reload. Buying time, he swings for it. I would have loved to have seen him going for a little bit more there. That would have been fun, but still, he pretty much killed that round, and players will win the opening on Dust 2.
That was a unique opener for Liquid there, to try to throw what seemed to be almost fake flashes out and then try to reset that situation and just throw out one more. It's as if they think that players are suddenly going to stop playing anti-flash, that maybe they're going to swing out wide in the open, that'll catch them off, but not the case. Players just hold their setup as they should, and that little gimmick play doesn't quite work out the way Adren drew it up.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that can really happen, but you always wonder if you saw it a couple of more times, if we keep an eye on it. I bet Liquid will try that again. You usually don't walk away from a plan just because it didn't work the one time, right? So, could be cool to see. Up close with the MP9. There's a flashbang behind him somewhere, I think. So we'll see. Yep, he's going to turn for it, and it does have a lot of stopping power. There's a team kill in the middle of all of that, and Hobbit will get a couple of more on the board. So, that's a decent start for players right now.
Something to note now for the rest of the game, Naf's scoreline will have 1 less kill than he really does have. He's on -1. But good setup overall from players. I really do love to see in the second rounds here on Dust 2 for teams to, the defenses to focus on cat control. It's one of the only things that T's ever try to do is go up cat, try to find a plant. So meet it head on.
Yeah, don't give him the space. That's an easy place to get a bomb plant from. Oh, not really necessarily what he wanted to do there. Oh, wow. Shiro pushing up at the top of mid to take down Shox. A play that Shox, by the way, himself way back in the day, talking about like 13, 14 type days, would do a lot. That push to top mid from the CT side with the AWP. So blast from the past, really, if you're Shox on the receiving end.
Taste of his own medicine. 9 years late.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever it takes. It's going to be a third round here, and it's starting in a 4-on-4, basically. Upper dark control for Nafany. That's pretty big.
That is an interesting development in terms of the map control. Liquid does not look like they're going to be going back to B tunnels anytime soon. They're concentrating their efforts towards long. They still have a couple of smokes, so they'll be able to get across. But we can see that players are pretty set up for this. They have 3 guys on that A site, and they'll be able to meet this with a nice defense. They even have some counter flashes, and Shiro just goes for the swing.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's really obvious what is coming next right now. If you're on the defending side, you know, Shiro, he looks to be warmed up right now. I actually love the boost they did earlier to look over the smoke and deep into pit. I've noticed they've done that on a bunch of maps right now. They like boosting and double boosting inside of the smokes. Shiro's not missing anything right now. OC on the other side, normally also very reliable with that AWP, but all he has is the AK right now. 10 seconds on the clock, and I don't think they're going to allow him to get even the bomb plant here. Right on top, Nafany will take him down, and that's a very, very good hold. And obviously Shiro on the AW. It's not... We've had a couple of games in the last couple of days where he's been missing some of those shots, but today it's looking dangerous.
One thing to note is that given the stakes or the lack thereof of stakes in this game, Shiro is trying to develop a different and more aggressive playstyle. I actually talked to him about this at Katowice, how early on in the year, where he won an MVP medal at FunSpark, he was playing a much more aggressive style. He was trying to shed that narrative that he's just a very passive opper that doesn't ever go for openers, and they're integrating some things into his playbook. That was an example of him getting pretty flashy in the mid-round. And he actually pushed up mid at the beginning of that too.
I mean, now's a great time to practice that if you want. It would be very cool if you had 2 different gears to play in.
Yes.
You could sort of do it in the middle of a game, right? But
if you want to be the best in the world, you have to be versatile. Can't be too predictable.
He's taking a bit of damage already. They're pretty far back on the map. They're giving Liquid the catwalk this time. Probably not too worried since they have much, much better weaponry. Could have been a headshot, but not quite this time. There's not really anything I think Liquid can do in this round outside of landing some really cool headshots. It's kind of down to that.
They'll be looking for a plant as they make their way up catwalk. Can expect the close lurk smoke to come out and then a couple of flashes. Only problem for players is that Hobbit's the only one that's close to defend this. Okay, they actually go for the corner smoke.
Nice Molotov on top of everything else. They look warmed up right now on the CT side for sure.
The bomb has not been picked up by Naf. Well, either way, it's a nice cleanup from Exile, and that's a 4-0 start for players. Not using the close smoke, you could already see the disadvantages of that. They want to throw what was called the Avangar one-way on the corner, but if you can't even get to the smoke, you can't use it.
Yeah, that is a prerequisite, isn't it? Back when Yanko was the coach of MIBR.
Okay.
A lot of teams, especially that MIBR team, like to do this drop into CT from catwalk. Why don't we see that so much anymore, I wonder?
If you have the drop smoke ready, it's pretty good, but okay, wait. Oh, that angle's usually good for one. Wow, Elise just keeps pressing on forward.
I caught him.
I'm shocked no one's dead right now.
Yeah. That's so deep into middle. It does draw a bunch of people a little bit further back here, so they've managed to kind of mix the defense up a little bit. You can see Hobbit is now down here as well. He would have been playing up on that A site just 10 seconds ago. So there is an opening.
One thing to note about this round is look how early Liquid are on Cat. A minute, and they were here with a minute 20 left. that early fast smoke that they threw for Xbox, that's a nice little development in the Dust 2 meta. People that can throw that one consistently, that adds a lot in terms of your early map control. But they are just posturing. They haven't actually done anything at Cat with that space yet.
They're gonna go back to middle. Shox flashed in, looking for the opening. He had the right idea. He was even pre-aiming that box. But Hobbit just a little bit too quick. We're down to 35 seconds. They're gonna be out middle. 3 of them running in Nitro and Upper Dark. So they're gonna try and see if they can crunch that bomb side, but that peek through just running through the smoke and then back again the other way, escaping. Nice opening for Nitro, but he's gonna have to do a little bit more here. And Inters is just locked in that corner. Not much Naf could do with this round. The bomb is lost to him, and Axile will eventually shoot him in the back. So 5-0 is the start here for players. It is just looking very, very good right now.
You can see players are exercising a lot of freedoms in terms of the way they want to take contests in the mid-round. That jump up from Hobbit, the flash through on top of it, they're really upsetting Liquid before they can even get in motion on some of these plays. And that's something to worry about if you're Liquid, because you drill all the parts where you're getting the map control, where you're going through the execute, but those little transition periods that players are catching them in, those windows, that's where you're at your weakest.
Back to Deagles again, and the odd scout. Yeah, right now they have basically 5 kills on the T side. I guess 1 more if you count the -1 from Naf, but really 5 or 6 kills is what we're talking about. That's not that great stretched out across the first 5 rounds. So
No. 6 kills in 5 rounds is nothing to be happy about. For one, just you're not in the game and you're giving a lot of economy to the other team, but 2, you would just hope by now on Dust 2 you hit a couple shots out of nowhere. You know, feel the game out a little bit more.
Hard to, yeah, I mean, it explains a lot about how these rounds have been going, but hopefully that can change. Axile nearly getting caught out here. They had 1 flashbang to try and get out, and they probably wanted a kill behind it. Axile handling that very, very well. Probably a moment there where they could have picked him off. Eventually, Naf will get 1 more on board, but that'll also be the end of it. Wow, this is super one-sided, at least to start with.
Axile is such a devastating long player. Just plays the off angle here, that's a free kill, then waits for the flash perfectly, gets the spray transfer here. That's, man, you can't ask for anything more. That's just textbook. And players are looking incredibly strong. The protocols that they've shown thus far have been catching Liquid off guard. The flash support for each other, it's what you want to see from a well-polished team, and players are giving it.
On the bright side, wow, we've got OC back on that AWP, and we've really been loving that. I think we've been on an adventure together, just enjoying OC's AWPing so far. It's been worth it.
OC has stolen, I'd say, the limelight a little bit away from how well Elite has been playing at Pro League thus far.
He has, yeah, that's true.
It's both of them that are contributing, and really, this is just, it's such a good feeling for North American fans right now that we have an Opper, just period. We have an Opper now. Like, we can be happy about this.
Yes.
It's just think of the op presence on teams that are supposed to be based in North America lately. There was Fallen, and there was Cirque. You know, you don't... you like when you see them succeed for a team like Liquid or Evil Geniuses, but there's something in the back of your mind saying, that's not really our homegrown talent.
Yeah, there's something missing there for sure, right? Obviously, ever since Skadoodle kind of went off and did other things, there's been a little bit of a gap in the space, that's for sure. Oh, talk about drops. I was asking this weird question earlier. Why are we not doing this more? And they try it. They've isolated the B bomb site now. Double setup inside. Oh, what an opening though. Inter's instant headshot. He can't see a thing, and he's still getting the kills. OC comes in and shuts it down, and it can at least get a bomb plant. But man, they lost so much in the meantime. I can't believe Inter's got either of those kills.
Inter's was just perfect crosshair placement, tapping away, wall blind. There's not a lot Liquid can even do there. But OC's in a 1-on-3. He's holding the tunnel's angle. Axile likely to throw out a jiggle. So we'll see if that... Okay, it's a flash. That's even better setup.
So dead. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do about that. tough times, but the main setup for it looked really, really good. It's a little bit unusual that they managed to get that nice of a defense in.
Inter's definitely overperformed.
Yeah.
By B anchor standards there. This is really nice. Tap, tap.
Yep, holding his hand in front of his eyes while he's doing it. It's a good angle.
The recoil of the AK would be pretty hard to control if you really shot it with just one arm.
Yeah, no one wants to do that. Listen, we have to return to this topic. It's 7-0 right now for players, and so far, again, in terms of the kills, it's looking a little bit great. They got 9 kills total in the first 7 rounds.
The kills per round the stat is not getting too much better for Liquid, round by round. So that just says a lot that, for one, Liquid aren't even getting fair fights, because if you would imagine if there were a few more 50-50s in these rounds, Liquid would have, say, 5 or more kills, but it's the fact that players are suffocating them with these defenses, the flash assists between the defensive players, and the fact that Liquid can't even get into strong post-plant positions either. This was the first time they planted the bomb in the previous round, and that's also not a good sign for just how well the strategies are working for Liquid, or basically how well they aren't working.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see a real change coming pretty soon. The money's also looking obviously very good on the side of players. That's kind of a side effect, I suppose, of not dying, not losing rounds. Tends to happen.
Everybody above 6,000.
Yeah.
That's, practically speaking, 2 buys in a row. So it will have to be 3 round victories in a row for Liquid to break the economy. Tough ask.
Nafany wants to see if he could sneak through. Oh, he's got that. Didn't even look like he was going to be favored in that fight at all. And Elige investigating. Wait, did he think he actually escaped? Nafany, he's still inside of that smoke. I think Elige thought, all right, I missed him. He's already out. That could blow open the whole round. They get Axal on long, but Elige is surely going to be very, very annoyed. He must have realized just in that moment what went wrong. They nearly catch Shiro, but it's still a 4 versus 3. We've got OC coming up the middle, and they catch Shiro. That is a nice kill for Nitro. That's
not bad. That opens things up for Liquid. And OC, he's going to find his kill. Nafany dead in just a second. There we go. OC goes out for the swing, but Hobbit's holding the line already. That's very nice by Hobbit to keep things even. The HP, though, very in favor of players, and Inter finds the pushing Naf.
Yeah, he wanted to see if he could look for that one. Good headshot, but Hobbit was right underneath. And he is 14-4. That's a very close round. Down to 1 at the end. Definitely could have worked out, and definitely felt like they wanted to change the pace of this round a little bit more Liquid. So I can respect this attempt, but it's very frustrating that Nafany not only got away with the opening kill, but this little trick here.
It looked like Liquid uses the fast Xbox smoke once again to get Elige there. It's just that Shox needs to 100% be ready for that fight. You could justify having Elige throw an extra flash just to help out a player like Shox, but discussion for another time, something for Adren to go over as he watches this back. Elige on the corner, flirting with the idea of going through that smoke, and he finds a headshot, but doesn't quite complete the kill. Now Shiro on the A-site defense, he's good for 2 already, looking for more. Can't quite hit the flick on OC. Now they're scaling up. This is getting a little bit close for Shiro, but he still stands and holds, but Nitro finally takes him down.
Ooh, okay, one of the most successful rounds, and just based off of a really strong catwalk push with very limited weapons. Inters has lost his mind and is pushing through the smoke and or the fire. If there was smoke, at least it could be justified, but there were actual flames, and he burns alive. Now it's a 1-on-1. OC and Nafany, he is all the way down in CT spawn, probably making OC sweat just a little bit now. How far do you go looking? He could easily plant the bomb, but he doesn't know that. I don't even blame him for going to check this out. He wants to find him. Oh, he's so deep in there just waiting. He's going to feel so red.
As soon as he pulls the knife out, that's where Nafany's holding the angle. Great positioning from him. Looks like we're going to get an update for how the other streams are looking, though. So this is what is going on between Godsent and Big right now on Nuke. We can see that it looks like Godsent, they're in the lead, and this was the map pick of Big. Come on, Big. I've contaminated the well already. That's how Yenko put it.
You really need them to step it up right now.
So many people pick Big to make it through in this group.
I don't know. I kind of understand it though. They actually are a really interesting team right now, and especially with Crimbo on the lineup. You feel like a lot could really happen.
Yeah, but I'll cope a little bit and say it's okay that you don't do too well the first time you bring in a rookie.
Okay, that's the way out.
That's my way out.
All right. Elise and Shock still have not killed anyone yet. Either of them.
Incredibly concerning, of course.
If these were the ESCA main players that you normally yell at, Maui, what would you be yelling? Does it motivate them?
I don't fight people with yelling.
You don't yell? Right.
I don't do that.
Right.
Maybe I could have lasted longer.
You seem to have had a reputation, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
I obviously don't know, but, you know.
Say, come on, guys. Let's get your heads on straight.
Okay.
In the most just nice way possible, because I'm a nice guy.
There we go.
Where my hug at?
Trying to repair that reputation. I like it. I respect it. They're setting up these smokes on the ledge, and then those smokes are kind of being countered by Molotovs that land behind. Now Nafin is creating his own wall, so when they come through, if they do, and they realize, yeah, it's a good read for Liquid, they realize that is a suspicious smoke in front of them. They're trying to see if they can wrap around with Nitro jumping down, but they're just getting slaughtered in every which way. Seems like right now the CT side is just way too much in control of this game.
It almost feels like the smokes took so long to come out for Liquid that Nafni was able to counter smoke and reposition himself very adequately. There's actually, I'm not sure if Liquid are throwing the faster corner smoke right now. There's two ways to throw that one way that lands on the corner. I think they're throwing the one that takes about 1.5 seconds longer than other teams do. So that might be the difference maker in what allowed Nafni to find that position.
1.5 seconds longer. You put it like that,
it makes a huge difference.
Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But
right. Could be wrong. They could be using the fastest one, but
we'll have to go investigate. But yeah, in terms of the enemy side, getting the Molotov out in time and slowing them down, and that buys even more time.
Yeah.
1.5 seconds is a long time. 11th round. Back to some pistols and that scout. Yeah, bomb still in upper dark. If they clear out catwalk, it's not unlikely they're going to go for something mid-oriented again. They're going to get blown up before they get there.
Okay. Got the crisscross smokes outside. But Nafni just stands right between them. That's usually supported by a flash for Nitro. But Inters, he's playing up close. There's a lot of pressure on him right now, and he just decides to sit in the smoke. He's so cool right now. Oh, man. He's not even worried at all about that situation. Lets them all go by, just spins through it, and little pirouette. 3 players dead on the Liquid side. Well done by Inters.
Yeah. We talked about him yesterday a bit, because I think you rightfully said that he get a little bit overlooked in this lineup, but he definitely has had some moments yesterday and today as well. Yeah, you're not in doubt of the skill that you're looking at. He just does get outshined a bit.
Just not in the positions to always succeed.
Very true. Okay, they're gonna try and make their way out long. Classic nades landing, especially that smoke from the T side that Nitro is standing right next to. They did throw some counter Molotovs out players, but it didn't really stop Liquid. So they have some long control, and they've left OC in the middle in case players try to take map control on that part of the map. I think that makes sense.
Ooh, 1-0. And Nafni has full control of B tunnels. This is a very rough spot to be in again for Liquid. We saw this on an early gun round. They couldn't quite piece it together. The only saving grace is that OC might find a kill towards middle. That's just perfect timing from OC. But Hobbit gets one towards long. So the man advantage still sticks with players. In fact, they double up on it.
Yeah, finding that kill in the middle normally should be a big opening for you to get a little bit more done. Shiro, he tanks the first bullet and takes down OC in return. It's all on Naf. And he's going to go down to Hobbit. Another triple kill for Hobbit right now, who is 20-5. So he's doing a fine job.
Oh, more than fine. More than fine. Hobbit is, he feels untouchable in a lot of ways. This is looking really grim for Liquid right now. Even when they just found this long space, usually this is a position where if the other team pressures you, you should be punishing, and yet players are just doing whatever they feel like in terms of taking the duels, and that's just, you got to be able to punish it, Liquid. That's actually what needs to happen.
Yeah, because they're getting into some of the foundational positions here seem all right. Trying to get through. Nafany finding himself in the corner. Shiro, he's been very confident so far. They're going to try and see if they can double jump him, and he still takes down Naf. Trying to change the speed a little bit, trying to get the good flashbangs into the middle, but I don't think they did quite enough at the beginning. That opening grenade just didn't really catch Nafany nearly enough. So it's a 13-0 scoreline. Man, they're speed running this first half now.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever tried to do Counter-Strike speed runs, but players are giving it a little bit of a go here.
I think a couple people have, as content, tried to make it a thing, actually. Just play an MM game and see how fast they can win 16-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good concept. Maybe how fast you could get to global elites. Like,
oh, and Shiro's towards middle. The flash was good, though. That helped out. Man, Shiro just goes for the re-peek. That's got to be frustrating if you're a Liege. You are not feeling your scoreline at all, and usually, I really do feel like a Liege wouldn't expect Shiro to do that, but Shiro's just turned it up a gear. He's actually shifted into a more aggressive player in this sort of mid-round. It's scary. It's scary that he's doing this.
And you mentioned it earlier, sort of playing for seeding here and a little bit of cash on top, and I guess that's also that allows players to play maybe not like themselves at all.
Yeah.
And it can be very hard if Liquid come in expecting and having done research on a team that plays differently, and they're just kind of let loose a little bit. There's a huge opening. I mean, that double entry into the A bomb site, they get the bomb plant down. This surely is a one round.
Yeah. No way do I see players winning this one. No way.
Famous last words.
No way.
Okay.
Can't happen.
100%. All right.
This is a really tough retake, in all honesty.
Let's see. Nafany, oh, well, called it. Exile, some very, very good clicking, but again, now he's just so far away, and OC will find a way to drop him. First round on the board for Liquid.
Well done, and Liquid do it with a contact play up the catwalk to find a double kill there. That's a different approach. Before, they've been telegraphing things with that lurk smoke, with the corner smoke, but this time they don't actually throw anything at all, and that catches players off guard. Do want to say, I actually look back at the VOD, Liquid have been throwing the faster corner smoke, so that shouldn't have been a problem for them.
Damn.
In terms of the timing.
You look back at the VOD in the middle of the game still going live.
Just to give them the credit that they deserve, that they're throwing the better smoke.
Respectable work, Maui. I like it. Well,
gotta just do justice.
It's good to know. It is good to know because I would even. Ooh.
Oh my goodness! Wow, devastating.
Oh. What's the call when that happens on a team? How do you react? Who makes the what kind of joke do you make at that moment?
You just act like it didn't happen.
Lie about how much damage you took if people ask.
It's okay, dude. I'm still at 100.
Yeah. It's just to keep.
Just keep morale up.
Yeah. Then,
in fact, I would just say, guys, just rub some dirt in it.
Exactly. And then let go of push to talk and cry a little bit, and then you can come back to the
Single
game.
tear rolls down cheek.
Oh no.
Oh man, they're just getting peppered.
Oh no.
They're getting chunked by these nades. It's not feeling too good to be Liquid right now. You haven't even seen an opponent, and you've got two guys near red.
Yeah. It's the experience that some teams have playing against a team like Big, or obviously Astralis at some points in time. Maybe Flusher, I think, had some of the most ridiculous utility damage of all time in some tournaments. So there are some teams and players that do a pretty good job of it. They seem to have found an opening though. They could build this into quite a bit. Maybe a quick bomb plant here. They're running through the flames, and because they were low already, they just can't find the space for it here. They can't really challenge the flames, and they had the opening, but that one Molotov really slowed them down. 20 seconds now, and it's a 3-on-2 when Shox goes down in the middle. Shiro, he's just at the lip of that bomb site, ready and waiting. He's so comfortable with that AWP. Amazing mechanical work for a 14-1 scoreline in favor of players.
This has been an excellent defense from players. They are looking to punch their way to that second seed in the group. We'll find out if they're able to close out map 1 after this.
Future Pros? Back on Dust 2, and this time to show you a smoke you can throw for your teammate to peek long, safe from any mollies to deny the area. To throw the smoke, get into this corner. Aim in the middle of this beam as shown, and simply jump through the smoke. This smoke will extinguish a CT molly and allow your teammate to still take the angle into long. Even if no molly is thrown, your teammate's vision will still be unobstructed by the smoke. Good luck, and maybe throw a flash or two just to help out.
Songs in a helpful hand, broken bones in a bloodstained flag, open road and nomadic plans. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get ya. I'm coming to get ya. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Lightning strikes in a quiet town. Bodies fall upon sacred ground. Burn a flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get ya.
You ever had the experience, Maui, of studying for an exam and then you show up and you can't actually recognize almost any of the material somehow, and it's like all the test questions are just different from whatever you've been prepping for? I feel like that's what Liquid are experiencing right now.
I can say I have, and it has sucked. It hurt.
It's not fun.
No, all the work, all the prep, it's out the window because the teacher said no that day.
Yeah.
That I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be funny. Teachers like that. And players are definitely playing, which, I mean, most noticeably, you mentioned this on Shiro. Like a different, more aggressive style.
Yeah. To go just one level deeper on that, when that happened to me, I had a mini panic attack. And I think Liquid might be in the same shoes right now.
Who can blame them? Who can blame them? Yeah, 14-1 scoreline. We don't need to break that down too much. That's pretty self-explanatory at this point. Seems like they're going to try and crunch that A-bomb site with Hobbit lurking long, 4 of them up on Catwalk. Very interested to see when or if Hobbit is going to be found, because the whole round could really change behind that.
Oh, Liege would like to get the second kill, but it's not going to happen here. Hobbit right there around the corner. At least there's a trade, though.
Yeah. That would have been huge if he could have opened it up, but they should be able to read the rest of this. You find the lurker out long, there's a push on Catwalk, you can kind of piece it together. Shiro, though, nice headshot. He's got that P250. He's going to keep going, taking down OC and Nitro. I was shocked that he got that kill. Well done, Nitro. He was going to be dead no matter what, though. They were just 3 people around him, 15-1.
You could see the power of that corner smoke, though, right there. Shiro was just able to fight with the P250 around it, standing up, and Liquid could barely see him. You basically are just shooting at muzzle flashes when you're fighting someone here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Shox couldn't see that at all until he was dead.
Just never play that position with the bomb.
This is
because it'll drop down.
That's absolutely true. But that's one of the coolest developments in the Dust 2 meta for a while, along with the fact that they changed the map, of course.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams like that corner smoke.
Worth noting. Write it down if you're watching. Hobbit's taking a bit of damage. Good shot from OC, but that is a killer grenade, and Shiro behind it. 3 kills to wipe out the entire B side of the map. Oh, this is so one-sided. I don't think we've had a game in the group so far that's been like this.
Players are flexing a little bit in terms of how skilled they are. Liquid, the way you set it up, Anders, is perfect. This is just not the players that Liquid thought they were going to be facing today. There's a little bit more aggression, and Shiro gets the ace to close it out. How fitting is that?
It's absolutely perfect. Wow. We blazed through that first map. 16-1 victory. Definitely players coming in here with absolutely no restraints, just felt super comfortable. And Liquid, they've been watching a different version of this team, and they're probably a little bit shocked.
When your players and your foundation is that good, what's cool is that you know what the rules are so much so that when you break them, you're doing it at the best and most opportune times. That's what we got from players there. And I am curious to hear what we've got coming up next. Looks like the desk will be breaking this one down, and so we will hear them after a break.
I can't wait for this one. Surely they need a bit of revenge here, Maui. Liquid, they can't be satisfied with what happened on Dust 2. I think we've seen this many times before. A team will get beat up and then they kind of swing back. That's what I'm hoping for.
For a team like Liquid, there's no way that they're going to be blown out like that again. Simply speaking, they're going to focus up, they're going to lock in, and it's one of the worst feelings as a top-tier player to see your scoreline end up with 1 kill. And Elige is a guy that the Dust was talking about too. The fact that, I think Yanko said he had a 0.06 rating after that map. That's unheard of for Elige, and it's not happening again.
Strong words. I like it. Players are going to be starting on the T side, Liquid on the CT side. This is the second map in a best of 3. And I am so curious. I think Yanko said something important too about the start of this. And if you get off to a good roll here for Liquid, then you can forget about that first map pretty quickly. But yeah, goes the other way, then it might not be quite as easy. Pretty common setup here. I like this really grouped up around connector part, especially in pistol round, something Astralis used to do a lot, because if they go long instead, you're pretty close to rotating to that A-bomb side anyway. So you have a lot of flexibility playing around connector like this.
Middle does give you a lot of options in terms of your rotations, your retakes. The only problem is that Glocks can be pretty strong in close quarters. Nafany, though, oh, this is perfect timing from Shox.
Yeah.
Oh, he might have heard him, too. Yeah, he definitely does. Okay. Oh, and that's the bomb. Oh, but Shox doesn't commit to the fight. Wow, Nafany might be feeling pretty lucky about staying alive, but Nitro, challenged by Inters and Axile, everybody's just pulling away from each other, but that pushes them right into Hobbit.
It was looking so good. Did he use the burst fire in the first one to take down OC? I can't believe that's so effective. Naf and Elige. They are in a 2-on-5, and they got the first kill right there. They need to do so much more. Now would be a good time to come up with some really strong headshots. He's trying to buy time to reload, but he just can't get it done. 1 versus 3 instead. Already used 1 smoke. Second one going to be going up, so Elige will never make it through on that one. And they are dug into this bomb site. I don't know how you're going to be doing this. Now you want them to play aggressive like they did on Dust 2. Now you'd love for them to challenge a little bit more. There's one of them. He's pushing forward, but he's out in the open, and they're going to peek him at the same time. It's players to start with a really good round. And it looked so good in the beginning of Liquid. They had so much information.
If Shox committed to that fight, that could have changed everything in that one. But it's one of those split-second decisions where you also just don't want to give your life up, and you're looking at your crosshair, not at the radar to find out where the bomb is. This was, wow. That's really nice from Hobbit. Naf right here did his best, but just couldn't quite put it all together. I mean, that was a tough hold. That was a tough ask to find a way back into that round.
Scout, he's kind of pushing the limits. It's a really good grenade, but you want to be real careful about sticking around there for too long. No connection on that Scout shot. But I can respect it. I think this is not too bad. Nafany, though, was going to hunt him down eventually, so just walking the whole way. I don't think Naf had any real idea that that was coming, so a lot of speed again behind it. You could do that with the MAC-10, and I don't know, there should be no way to get back into this one for Liquid. Might even want to save the pistol into the armor here. Feels like you shouldn't go for this.
You just want to try this round again. There was a great timing from Nafany to catch Naf at the divider there, but next round that might not happen. And just keeping the pistols alive is a solid option for Liquid. It's a little bit worrying. It's just 2 rounds, but
Yeah.
we haven't seen too many kills come out from Liquid, though. So I'm sticking by my prediction that they're going to do better in this map than they did on Dust. I think it's a very safe prediction, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It kind of follows a template that we've seen many times in the past, where, especially at a high level of Counter-Strike, people tend to want to bounce back. It almost like it does motivate people a lot more.
Oh, OC could have got the MAC-10 for Naf, but that's okay. He was trained in on his crosshair. Can't blame him for that. And yeah, this is basically the entire round. That's
Done.
That is the key moment.
Not that anyone did super well on the Liquid side on Dust 2, but OC did get a little bit more on the board. He had a little bit more of a say. So still having a really decent impact, even in a loss like that. So
that's a comforting sign for an up-and-coming player. Shiro just going to go for the wide swing on long. Yep, there it is. And Shox punishes him for it. That's nice to see. Fighting back. Don't give up space for free. But Nafany again hits a timing down connector this time. Upgrades his pistol, opens the door. There's a crunch on water right now, but can't finish the kill on Nitro. There it is. Whoa. Okay, well, that was Hobbit that actually killed Naf from behind Nafany.
Yes, it was, but it looked like it was the Deagle right away. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of, again, the amount of aggression, even this kind of thing is not something you'd normally see other players. I think even in an anti-eco, they wouldn't normally do it because they are just so structured, right? For them to, they take that fight way before the minute mark. That's so uncommon.
Usually a player's T-side round ends or the bomb is planted with sub 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Sub 35. And they're playing with a little bit more pace here, more pep in their step.
What if someone was doing some armchair philosophy around this right now and saying, well, hold on. If this works so well for players, why don't they just play like this all the time, Maui? Like, what's up with that?
Well, a couple reasons why you wouldn't want to do that if you're players. Well, this is an incredibly small sample size, 1. 2, the way that Liquid might be approaching this game may be a little bit different for the fact that the stakes are kind of weird in this format. And 3, I mean, why would you change it if you attained a top spot in the world as a team that has such a defined style? It's cool to try this out and add it to your playbook for the future and have some confidence that, yeah, we've done this in an official before and it works, but you don't need to throw out your entire playbook and strategy and your game philosophy just because of one instance like this.
Yeah, the sample size especially, and it feels like if Liquid had been watching a demo yesterday where they played like this, they also could have maybe thought, all right, hey, wait a minute, they could be, just be aware they could be this aggressive. But the last game that they would have seen would have looked nothing like this, so.
Right. That's another thing, that this style that players is implementing, it works a lot better because they've never done it, and so their opponents aren't ready for it.
Well, they have had, I mean, now they have a whole map of warning. I guess the problem is you're not really necessarily sure what you're adjusting to, but at some point you almost would feel like it'd be cool to see Liquid also take the leash off and just say, okay, fine. If you're playing, you know, like this, then let's just try and be a little bit less structured ourselves, and let's swing for some more fights and maybe be a little bit more crazy like that.
Yeah, the thing is that players, they're bending the rules in their own system to make it more dynamic, more aggressive, faster. But the thing is that Liquid have no foundation for Overpass yet. This is the first time that this 5-man lineup is playing an official on the map. So you can't just say, hey guys, let's be aggressive, but it's like, well, we want to get practice with the style that we've been doing in scrims.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go, Liquid. 2 opening kills. Axile's right there at short, though. Oh, he's going to be able to find a timing, but Elige is able to spin around, takes down Axile, and they shut it down. Okay, Liquid did a great job in this one. They might even find Shiro, too. That was through the smoke.
Nearly got him. But yeah, he's going to try and save throughout the round here. That's pretty well done. Elige, down on that ramp, you could see he was playing anti-flash. He was ready in case someone was coming, and he still managed to spin around and get the kill. So, job well done. Liquid on the board, 3-1. And Shock's contributing quite a bit, getting one of those opening kills, but also getting down through connector and helping. It's pretty good. Good movement.
Gotta say it. Elige already doing better than he did last game.
Yes.
It's low-hanging fruit, but it's actually a confidence booster for the NA Star. Just knowing that was just a one-off. That's not going to happen again. It's when it's months of that, but that you begin to worry.
Yeah.
Not just one map.
It can be very tough to return from having that kind of experience if it lasts for too long. But I agree, if you start pretty good here, I don't think he's going to worry too much about it either. Bomb dropped a little bit further back. This looks way more like the kind of opening that you normally see out of players. With bomb dropped, everyone kind of like taking up the early positions and waiting around to see if there's going to be a mistake from Liquid. Double setup on long for Liquid is super interesting, but they're really, really far away. If this turned into a fast B execute, they would be miles away.
It's a cool gamble to see from Liquid to play essentially a 3-2 defense. Enters. Will there be a flash? No, no flash. He just goes for the swing. Takes down Shocks, and Naf can't find the trade. That is not the procedure that Liquid would have expected from players. To just see a wide swing like that, and oh, OC gets one, but Nafity's right there at the divider, and this becomes very awkward for Liquid. They have 2 players left. They don't really have any ground.
2-on-3. Nitro is quite far away, so this is really going to be up to Elige. The bomb is miles away, but oh no, the jumping shot. Nafity bringing him down. That's pretty tough.
I'd like to see that one back in slow-mo. I think he might have been in the air.
It did look like it, didn't it? Out on loan like that, if they had thrown the flashbang, then presumably, yeah, Shocks could have been pop flashed, but then
Naf would have peeked up and
Exactly.
taken the first contact.
yeah, so that setup, and without that happens, the first contact is basically Shocks dying.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And that's not even that strong of an angle, honestly. That close angle, it's right eye versus left eye, which is advantageous, but you're not. If they just swing on you, you have to track them, and they're swinging perpendicular to your hold, and that's one of the worst ways to get peaked in Counter-Strike, simply put.
It's it's not amazing, is it? And you can't escape from that position. So even sometimes if you get the opening kill, you could still be stuck there in a really awkward way.
Yep.
And that tree position that Naf is playing can be Molotov from over by the balloons anyway. So there's a lot of ways to still lose even if you win out there.
I don't mind Liquid running that setup at all, though. I think it actually has a strong idea behind it, that you are just doing a heavier A lean because players really tend to like those A creeps in general. I think that's in the air.
I think so.
That's in the air.
They're doing that meme with the teddy bear that's like looking back and forth, right? They're like, did anyone see that?
Yeah.
Oh, the nade stack. How many nades? 3 of them? A little bit not necessarily synchronized that well.
I wonder if they do that on purpose? Just offset it? No. Well, either way, it doesn't inflict any damage.
I feel like if you do it all at once, it obviously has, like, you're dead instantly on the other side. If they come a little bit segmented, it's psychologically much worse because you're like, okay, it was just, oh no, okay, it's like, I almost lived, but not really. It's not good.
Yeah.
Look at this forward position for OC and Elige. That's a nice way to limit the map a little bit for the T side, surely.
See how Axile peeks this, jiggles right into it. Nice opener from OC. That's the Axile special, though. He loves going for those jiggles. If that's a rifle holding, Axile wins that fight so frequently. He can take almost every map in T-side defaults by just jiggling into every angle. His mechanics are that good. But not against an op.
Scary to play up against. There are some players like that. Elish just had the right idea. That might be even more painful when you saw it coming, you knew, and you were off by maybe a second on that timing. Shox is pushing down behind them. Inter's going to pick up the bomb back here towards T-spawn indeed, and we were down to 15 seconds. Oh, this is a little bit of an issue now. They're going to get shut down. No way through. Nice Tro and OC on the other side, and that looks more like, again, the kind of classic window of execute for players, down towards 20 seconds, but it was just too much.
That was almost the most standard round players have run in terms of their usual playbook, and Liquid were able to hold it. That's probably a round that almost Liquid expected when they were going over their prep. So, good push from Shox, nice early proactive setup from OC, and I like to see the little confidence from Nitro coming out at the end, just going for that swing, going for the fight. You can tell that Liquid are warming up into the series.
They are. Definitely some improvements. Even looking at the scoreboard and everything else, they're keeping up pretty well. Boost to look over. That's where they would have loved to triple nade it, but they did it the last round. So opening kill goes the way of Liquid. Axal, he's deep in here towards the Elbin, and that's
the Axal special.
You talked about it.
Jiggle into every angle and get a headshot.
Hard to deal with. And they also got the kill on the second player right afterwards. So a little bit of trouble. Back into a 4-3 now, favoring the player's side. It looks like Elish might want to go through that smoke down the Monster Tunnel. And if he does and gets the information, maybe they can get out here and save OC in time. But they're still thinking about it. OC, that is a nice shot to take down Hobbit. And now they pushed outside of the B-bomb site. So are they going to be here in time is the big question.
Oh, that's real nice from Liquid. They're finding everything out across the map. They don't know how close Inters and Nafany are, though, but the rotation from Elise should come in shortly. OC's holding a very passive line on the A site, and it actually won't spot anyone unless they decide to push past the APC. I don't think they're going to go for that. They're just going to go for the default plant. Naf's so close on the flank.
Almost catching Axal there. That would have been huge. 20 seconds. I started to fall back. They have them boxed in right now, Liquid. They have a really good shot at doing this, and Naf has decided to go long instead, which the way that they're set up, Inters has just spun around. Knife out, though. He has no idea about the timing. Oh, but he still gets the headshot running around the corner. If you're Naf, you spent, I don't know, 30 seconds running back through T-spawn to get to that position. You feel like you deserve just a little bit more than to just get swiped like that. Nafany trying to go for a fairly insane flick, and it doesn't really work out. They lose Elige, and they lose the round to end with. That looked like an incredibly winnable round for Liquid.
That single Inters kill might have been the most impactful of the round.
Yeah.
Shox had such a nice flank, and we also saw that the other opping player from the T side was right there too. He could have maybe doubled up on frags if he gets that first one there. But good opener. Wow, just perfect clears actually from players there. And Liquid, they did a really good job in terms of trying to bring this back by going for those pushes, but it simply wasn't enough when Inters is able to just delete the flanking player.
Yeah, and you could tell he wasn't necessarily on his mind that someone was going to be there, but just had the raw reactions to make that work anyway. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that triple boost. We've been seeing that more and more these days. I feel like it's sort of made a bit of a strange return. Shiro's walked up, scoped up already, and that's just an off angle you're not necessarily expecting an op to be in, but a good return, Shox.
It's a good trade. Okay. They're looking for the boost right there. Axal is so close at Monster. Hobbit. This is going to be a spray down for Hobbit. Let's see if he's able to control it. Yep. Gets 2, 3 kills. Does he find the 4th? Elige takes him down. 1 on 3. Elige does have an op. Probably just wants to save this one. Yeah, not gifted any kill immediately. You're just going to keep that one in the next round. They might go for a double op now, Liquid. Shox has the money to buy a second one. And it's clear that Liquid need to change something up. These gun rounds aren't working for them, and double op, we'll see if that's something they drilled, but nice way to shake up the formula.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of space for ops on this map. It might be almost go for a triple op on this map if you're feeling really crazy.
We even saw Godsent run double op on both A players. I think it was Doomau and Henny.
True.
Decided to go for that, and a lot of teams can make it work. That's the fun thing about Overpass with ops.
We knew that players were going to be strong on this map. We knew that Liquid necessarily don't know too much about it, so it's not unexpected that this is going to be favoring the players' side.
Yeah, it's a nice trade from Shox right here. Very swift.
Boom. Yeah.
It wasn't enough. Not too much to take away from that last round. And Liquid, they will be going for that double op.
Okay. Shox on the other one. Should put a smile on your face. I'm seeing Shox with some pretty crazy AWP highlights in the past, so he's got it in him. There's another attempt, just a double nade this time, but no one catching on the other side. Oh, see with this AWP down connector, doesn't really have any backup here.
Oh, and Anthony heard it. That's why they were moving towards long. They think long is available, but they don't know there's a double op. That actually just baited them perfectly. Anthony is he's wondering, didn't I hear the scope to my right? And he did. He definitely did. But that's just what Overpass is sometimes. You have to creep up, and unless you're going to use utility around every single corner, ops will simply find kills.
Yeah, that is such a cool moment. He tried to piece together a little bit of what the defense might have looked like and just got it slightly wrong. And that's all it takes. OC, though, oh, he is so quick. It would have been completely fine. I mean, it would have been understandable if he would have died right off the bat there and didn't even get anything, but there's a lot to be said for just making yourself a player that is just always going to get one kill, even in some of the worst situations. That is a great quality to have if you can get it. Shox goes down, though, and it's another 3-on-3, and it looks a little bit like a round that we saw earlier, where Naf was flanking through T-spawn, but this time Nitro not going to go the long way around, wants to get a bit closer here. 15 seconds on the clock. They're leaving it very, very tight right now. Some more nades are raining in. Naf, though, with the opening kill to take down Intus, and Hobbit and Exile. If they win this round, it's almost too heartbreaking. Oh, coming in at a range there, and just no time to relocate for that bomb, so it is going to be a round for Liquid.
Not bad, not bad. A little bit tricky the way that they were able to start that one. The fact that Shox gets an op kill and he probably doesn't even know why he was peaked like this. But that's just not a peak Nafity would go for if he thinks there's an op.
Yeah.
So that's fortunate for Liquid in that round. It's going to be hard to make that kind of round sustainable, I will say, because players have just been doing such a good job at taking map control safely beyond what that round looked like.
If they win this round, Howie, there's no more cash on the player's side.
That's true.
This is surely all. The same is obviously true.
Swing round.
Yeah. This has got to work out. Are they going to go for the boost to look over? Oh.
They want the double boost, but players are already past the point where this boost actually shows anything. So there's actually a chance Exile clears this from the back. He's actually looking at it. That is.
They made noise.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. They heard it.
That's a really cool idea, but also really scary if you stick with it too long, and that could backfire.
Okay. OC's taking up the line. He's quick right now. That's a great shot onto Exile, and it gives up a lot in terms of what players might be trying to accomplish. Hobbit just goes for the dry peek into Nitro, but Nitro has the dominant angle there. Nose flash coming out. Inters will be swinging with that. It's a perfect flash, but it blinds Inters too, but there's a second. And that's where they will finally find the trade.
Good work in that tunnel. It doesn't get them all the way back into the round, though. Still that 3-on-4. 35 seconds here. Elige going to go creep into the corner. He was killed here last time because he kind of missed the timing on the boost by just a second. See if he's going to have it this time. Quick jump up, looking for it. He had the right idea. Good job on Elige to absolutely check that. Even at the edge of the smoke, he was very diligent in keeping that position. Now it's going to be a 2-on-4. Only 14 seconds left. It should be an impossible round to win here. Nafany going to try and go for the bomb plant inside of the smoke, but they have him crossfired in, and there's not much else that happens here. Good job, Liquid.
That looked like a pretty desperate attempt at a plant. I feel like players wouldn't always have gone for that. They like saving. They like keeping those guns up.
Yeah.
But this was nice by Liquid. The late proactivity from OC. I really think that what OC has been bringing to Liquid in terms of these late mid-round peaks with the off try, it adds so much to their defense. It really actually opens up the map for them in terms of finding information. And on top of that, he's been doing such a good job at ESL Pro League in finding picks too.
Yeah, he seems to be the most sort of stable member of the team right now in terms of how much you can rely on him to open up almost anything.
Yes.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, it takes so much weight off of the shoulders of a Liquid roster that probably needs the extra firepower. In fact, they do. They do need that.
All right, Hobbit is definitely dead. And there's no way out. Sharks
Chasing it.
Yeah, gonna come hunt him down. Nicely done. I mean, they probably will get to a 6-5 scoreline here, so that's the beginning of something at least. That AK on Inters is the only one making or sort of presenting any kind of real threat here.
Yeah. This is the only win condition for players in the round.
What else could change for Liquid? I'm trying to think. There's something that they haven't done, which a lot of teams that play a lot of overpass like do on the CT side, which is that double push towards the birthday balloon area to sort of to take that fight around the tree, basically.
Yeah. Either
boost it up on top of the smoke or like that. There's a lot of plays around that, which. Oh,
That's a nice shot. That's a really nice shot.
damn. We're gonna have to see that from the side of OC because that's actually ridiculous. Was he pre-firing that or did he just flick it?
We'll see. We will find out, Anders.
Gonna need to find that out, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple more A plays, some more aggression that Liquid we could be throwing out. Would love to see it. Just in fast motion. What? He's like flicking between the angles, actually.
Oh,
What? That's so weird.
insane.
He's just flicking, and then he just chose the right one. Yeah, we've got the stairs Molotov. That's been standard for Liquid in a lot of these rounds.
Oh, Sharks, at least for a minute, wanted to go there. Elish goes down to Axile again.
Oh man.
Nice shot from OC.
Yeah.
So ridiculously reliable right now.
Exactly. Yeah, not every opper goes for that, actually. They think that this is kind of an awkward fight for me, but OC trusts himself and his abilities to a level that Liquid just simply need him to do this. They need him to find those kinds of refrags, or else they are just going to find themselves disadvantaged so continuously.
This is a weird setup for a round, because OC and Sharks could lose the A-bomb site while being pushed long, but that could also put them in a great position for a retake.
Yes.
It's very hard to figure out how this plays out.
Yeah. If players make the right read, can expect that they would speed up, but they don't really know that the bomb site's empty. How would you? So Shocks. Okay. Ooh, that felt like a big fight. But OC does know that there's a player that's close left right here. He's probably even second guessing it because he just stood in the molly for the entire duration. And now we're on for a 3-on-3 retake. No more utility for players, so they just got to fight, hold these crossfires.
Hobbit's flanking as well, and that's a big problem. I don't think they're going to realize just yet. Oh, OC has got the right idea. He misses one shot, and Shiro will not let him get a second one. Going to be cleaning up the round with a good little double kill there. Oh, that is... There's a lot of mistakes that can creep into a round like that where you just... Everyone, I think, on both sides of the map really losing track of where's everyone at right now.
There's a lot of motion in that one. That's tough for Liquid. And... Oh, Shocks has an option there, whether or not he wanted to flank through the bathrooms and just flank the site players, or go for that deeper flank. And usually when you go for the deeper flank, you just win that fight versus Hobbit, because Hobbit wouldn't expect a person to be party at that juncture.
Yeah, that's very true. If they want to stay competitive here, surely they need to win the rest of the rounds. Make it an 8-7 in their favor. Which could kind of happen given the money. It's not impossible.
Yeah, this is another swing round in terms of econ. And the double op comes out for Liquid once again. Last time they made it work. A little bit of a sound bait, which I don't even think they were cognizant of, but maybe it doesn't need to be that complicated.
No connections on those wall bangs. Starting to move the bomb back on that side. A-bomb side. Hobbit goes down. Shocks with the opening this time. And it's going to be that 4-on-5 now. And they spent so much time already. OC's playing this alone. Again, the confidence is just really impressive to me.
I'm excited for this moment. OC's going to have to battle op. And he is actually really, really sick in these close quarter situations. We haven't seen it too much this week, but this might be a chance. Oh. Misses the first, and with low HP, this becomes really scary for him. But they're actually just avoiding him. Shocks is still on the bomb site. Smoke lands in his face, and that gives a gap to the Liquid players as they're rotating on forward. There's... Okay, Naf through the smoke. That's a nice frag to find. Shocks is still here at the truck. This is tough for players to put together. They don't have the time.
Yeah, they just have to back on out. I was right at the lip of the bomb site the whole time, but nobody wanted to, or nobody really could push forward. What a weird round, but they get to save some of the rifles, so they're gonna be dangerous in the upcoming round anyway. But a 6-7 scoreline. Yeah, Shocks. This is the opening. Oh, it's curious that there was no flashbang or anything there to set up the Hobbit swing, but
yeah, I think Hobbit has gotten away with that already, just coming up connector like that, and he just trusts himself to a fatal degree. The ops have been moving around a lot for Liquid, so it's tough to know where all your flashes need to go. And it's almost like they would have wanted more flashes to get into that bomb site on top of that. So you do have to preserve them. Can't just throw them every single angle. Eventually an op will find success on overpass.
Some overpass teams, it seems to me, will just sometimes throw in random rush B rounds on the T side because they can be just so effective.
We haven't seen that yet for players in this game. Or not with a full gun round.
Yeah.
So that's an option here.
Can be very tricky, especially if you have an AWP, right, and you're trying to op that monster tunnel. If you're just flashed and smoked on Molotov back, you have to sort of retreat while they're still running at you.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm excited for this round. They're just rushing up onto OC. Oh, man, they're sprinting at him.
Is that a mistake? Again, he's only missed really, I think, a couple of shots so far in this half. He's hit almost every single shot. Gonna be another one right there, plucking Axile out of the sky. Shiro is in play, though. Are they walking through the smoke on the other side? There's gonna be one more setup right there. Oh, what? No way! Got Hobbit as well. He is such a beast. 2-on-2. Elige swinging for it. The timing should be good. Inters goes down, and now it's on Shiro. He has got a lot of time to make this work, but doesn't matter. Nitro comes in at a good angle. And it's another round for Liquid.
Great stuff from OC. That was nice. You can't ask for him to do anything more there. He was juggling a lot of different angles and positioned himself in just the right amount of spots to get as many opportunities as he could. That was really, really sweet. Yeah, he doesn't hit the first, but that's the tough one. But that's a tough one, and he nails that. So makes up for it. And that was players with some save weaponry, and now they're moving into the last round of the half with a really scrappy buy.
Yeah, not that much to work with. Kind of could have been a classic round for a B rush, but I guess they're not interested.
Not a single one.
Yeah, they're not into it. Shocks winning a fight against Hobbit. That has to feel good. I feel like Hobbit's been causing a lot of trouble in this first half for Liquid.
It's got over 100 ADR. That's a kill around for the kids at home.
That's what we're aiming for. Try and get there.
That's our demographic.
They're out long. Axile's a little bit later going to be hanging out, making sure that there's no one running up the connector in towards restrooms. Sharks just playing it out here. Pretty decent nade. They have everything set up for themselves right here, Liquid. This should be a good round, but that opening kill could make a big difference. What are they doing at the edge of the smoke? This is incredibly nerdy stuff that's happening out here. And Shocks, he is not interested. They're trying to see if they could play and just maybe spot a foot at the corner of it or anything like that. But it looks like Liquid are going to be able to withstand the onslaught in this round.
This is a cool off angle from Elige. You don't see many people here. And anybody swinging front bathrooms at this point won't beat this.
Yeah, Inter's not even looking for it. Shiro, 18 seconds, 17. Just a matter of trying to see if he can fight and get some cool scout headshots because he is not going to be able to win the round. Trying his best, make it maybe one more in him, make it a no-scope, why not? It's going to be OC to take him down. An 8-7 finish at the end of the half. I think that's actually pretty cool for Liquid.
Winning the half for Liquid's first ever time playing with this 5-man lineup on Overpass. We'll see if they're able to actually take it and find themselves a 100% win rate. But that's coming up after a couple of commercials.
Hey guys, Matt here from Team Liquid. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of tricks on the overpass CT side. So I guess kind of just like at the start when you're coming in, you kind of just want to molly off short. And that's just like the basic, like every other like usual team does. I do that. And then I'll just be here. I'll just wait to see if they extinguish the molly because the T's usually, if they're doing fast short control, they're going to smoke the molly and then you can just nade in the smoke and just like really nade damage onto them. But if nothing really happens, you can just, instead of nading the molly, and you know nothing's gonna happen, you just nade open the door, which is already naded open, and then that just strikes kind of fear into the T's. So your A teammates don't have to worry about blue pretty much. Twist would kind of play like the monster area. So he'd be more of the short player. I'm kind of just more of like a support and like make sure if they're rushing out, I have flashes ready for them or a smoke. If I still have my smoke, I just smoke off short for them.
Laying down smoke.
And then if my teammates need help at A, like, you know, I'd come up to A, get another smoke you can throw for your teammate. If your teammates are still pushed up in the bathrooms, you just tell your team, like, hey, I need divider smoke. Just come up in between those two and then just left of the sun.
Smoke.
In a quiet town, bodies fall upon sacred ground. By the flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get you. I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. I'ma bring it in the firefight. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. I'm the reaper in the dead of night. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Well, we return to a much more reasonable game here than we left it on Dust 2. This is now second map on Overpass, and it's cut down the middle 8-7 in favor of Team Liquid. How excited should Liquid fans be right now? How much does it mean in terms of the overall score? Are they winning this map?
Winning the map is going to be difficult, Anders, but what they can be happy about is that the rounds that they put together gave them a formula for the future. The double op was incredibly effective. OC was doing so much work at A, and I don't think there has to be any question. This guy is legit. And so, for that reason, they can be happy. Shocks, considering
It's at the rave.
what he's going to do after the match, perhaps.
Well, yeah, that's there we go. He's getting himself warmed up, pumped outside of well, way outside of the V-bomb side.
Oh, around the world strategy. Okay, they'll be going through the door on that. Hobbit, one shot, and he's off.
It's like, you know what? I don't want to fight everyone here. And they're going to be running in. Hobbit, Shiro.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, they got blown up.
Oh, man.
It's pretty dominant.
Yeah, that strategy, that's an old one, but we saw that players there knew exactly how to defend it, and this was just a brilliant crossfire. You have a player CT at ABC, you have Inters and Shiro around the site. It's a death trap, and they sprung it. Liquid sprung it.
Yeah, and Hobbit maybe could have gone for more shots as they come out connected. But it's like, you know what? Like, why not just
form the crossfire?
Yeah.
And you're in such a better position with your teammates. It's actually a bit of a tangent, but it's such a strong skill for players to develop that being able to disengage from fights. It's one thing to be good at winning fights with your mechanics, but getting out of them, arguably even more important.
Yeah, and yeah, something that takes some real experience to develop, I suppose. Shiro out hunting. And Axel with a couple of kills at the end. Yeah, but if you disengage from a fight that isn't really favorable to you, and then you return 30 seconds later in the same round, and you have a much more favorable fight, then that's a very good...
And you succeeded.
Very good trade.
Yeah, you did a good job. It's really common, of course, for operas to be able to do that, because you simply can't stick around. But for riflers, that's a skill that every player needs to add to their arsenal as they're coming up in the ranks. And it's one that certain pros, like Hobbit, for example, are very good at. Hobbit is actually really good at disengaging. And you'll see it more than just that pistol round, hopefully.
So someone to study. If you have to go do demo review, then
yes,
there we go. Someone you can check out. Shiro and Axel to open up the round. OC, nice little return there, catching Axel out of the open. Otherwise, that is probably a lost round almost already in that 3-on-5. But the quick return means they still have a shot at it. Oh, this is... You're going to be so frustrated if you're coming through the tunnel against that MP9. Out the door, maybe you could beat him with it. But the tunnel position is definitely tough.
There is actually a way to move through the tunnel. You hug the rightmost side and you just look for the foot, and I'm quite certain you actually see their foot before. If you're in the tunnel, you can see the railing person's foot before, but you have to do it so perfectly that if you go one step too far, they're holding for you and you might not even be looking the right direction. So just a little remark on that interaction.
Something to practice then. That's so worth knowing. That's so worth looking for. Shocks and OC 2 versus 4. Huge disadvantage once again, and they're not going to make it onto the side. Not going to get the bomb plant either. And it will put players at 10 rounds. I'm kind of out of money a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, playing the T side is obviously going to be such a different experience, but...
I think for myself and maybe people looking to the future of Liquid here, if they can just win a couple of gun rounds, that's a promising sign, because players do have one of the best CT sides on this map in the world. And if a couple defaults go their way, that's when it's really impressive. It's one thing if a set piece works versus players, but you should expect your set pieces can work. It's that if you can beat them in the default, then you actually have the foundations of becoming a world-class team on Overpass.
Nice shot. And something else to maybe remark on in that context is if they can make that work and they can go back and review the demo, look over what actually worked and how players responded. It's nice to have some data when you come out of a game like this.
Yeah.
Like if you take Dust 2, for instance, as an example, that might be a hard game to go over if you're Liquid, because not that many things really worked, and it's going to be...
There were moments in those rounds where you can look back and say, oh, we should have done this better, but sometimes when it's just that lopsided, it's tougher to get invested in that loss. Whereas when I tell people to look back at their own demos, actually, I say, just look at the close losses, because you'll remember those mistakes even more vividly.
Yeah. They're back with the rifles now. Taking up a bit of control down towards Connector. Smoking off Hobbit. He's pretty comfortable hanging around here. He was basically playing the same position on the T side half the time, trying to fight in this Connector, so gonna be trying to see if he could find a kill on someone here. Molotov will force him forward, in fact, and he seemed to be ready for it, but that is a nice headshot from Unleash. Stuck that AK right in his face. And Axel is now kind of been cut off from the rest of his team.
Yeah, this guy's on Oahu right now. He is all by his lonesome. Everybody else is on the mainland, as far as they can be. And he still is able to have some impact. That's impressive. If he's able to maintain this position, wow, he actually forces Liquid's hand in the other direction.
Yeah, that is so much impact. Intus pushing out and catching OC as well, just when they had a little bit of a lead there in the 4-on-3. The bomb is dropped a little bit further back. Axel is still hanging around on the other side, and Shocks jumping out like that? That seems so risky. He maybe just assumed that Axel wasn't there anymore, but that is a massive assumption to be making. Elige going down last, no bomb plant, and a 12th round now on the side of players.
And that was with the opening kill going the way of Liquid. To only find one more for the rest of the round. They definitely are showing signs that they're a little bit raw on this map, that they haven't outlined how to progress in some of these attempted conversion situations. But, okay, he just went through the smoke, actually.
Yeah, at the beginning. In terms of, you mentioned sort of defaults on this map, on the T side. When you say that, I think something like take restrooms, smoke A bomb site, go, like...
Yeah, well, I'd say that there's generally 3 defaults in most pro play on this map. You got the 3-1-1, 3A, 1 con, 1B, 1-1-3. Same thing, but just 3 towards B. Yep. And then the 2-1-2. And each one has their strengths, and each one indicates what you're going to be doing for the rest of the round. You see the 2-1-2 the least. It's kind of used more on anti-ecos, and it's kind of actually used as an anti-aggressive tool when the other team is just pushing you in constantly.
Makes sense.
You'll want to do a 2-1-2. But this time around, we're getting the 3-1-1 from Liquid, and yeah, it's about, can they even find space with this sort of default? Can they take map control safely, find trades? Because that's what you really have to start with on Overpass. You can't just run set pieces out of spawn. They don't work that well, except at B.
Yeah, you need, I mean, I think of them as almost like staging areas for the actual execute. And in this case, the staging area could either be longer restrooms. You need somewhere to throw those nades from, basically.
Yeah.
No armor on OC, so that nade did a lot of damage. But I guess he could still be effective up here. 3-man setup over at the A bomb site. That is quite a lot of presence here for players. And they're still inside of B. It's not like they pushed out to find out that no one is outside of B right now. So they have just a very, very good sense of what's happening on the map. And that might make things very, very difficult. OC.
Oh, I like this boost.
Yeah, it's a classic, isn't it?
If anyone were playing at the dumpster, this would be finding a frag, but... Oh, he gets it! He's sliding forward and he takes down Nafany, but Axel's still here in the bathrooms, along with Shiro.
Yeah, but they swing for it. Axel is so deadly. Nice double headshot. And now, even with that incredibly creative way to get the job done, they're still going to lose Axel with the quad kill at the end. It's so effortless right there.
Liquid are doing a good job in finding opening kills. That's actually not where they're falling short. It's what happens after that. Their attempts at converting the round. The finishers. That's how Kassad likes to put it. And I am stealing that terminology because it's a really good way to phrase it. The finishers aren't there for Liquid right now.
No, they're really not. And, but I mean, usually it's a great place to get started. If you can get opening kills, usually that's a, I don't want to say half the job done, but it means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Tech9's rushing up through Connector into Axel. Some good revenge from the previous round. Elige turning the corner and taking him down. So another good opening. I mean, they still are lacking some of the weapons, but maybe they could roll it into something a little bit more here, because they're starting to fall far behind. 13-8 scoreline. Shiro showing up with the AWP inside of the bomb site. He's got the right idea, and this is where you really lack the grenades. If you wanted to get rid of Shiro here, you would need Molotovs and smokes and flashbangs to try and push him away. They have one smoke.
And we see Shiro taking another one of those individual liberties, keeping up what he did on Dust 2, pushing in a mid-round situation. Now Hobbit on the flank already, and Liquid, they just don't expect it. They've been caught in this holding pattern where they're just stuck in bathrooms. They don't know how they want to progress with the round. They don't have any flashes. They don't have any way to kick this one off. And it's easy pickings for players now. That was a clean hold, again, after losing the pick, but we're going to actually see what's going on some of the other streams right now, as there are other games going on. We've got Big versus Godsent, and Big, they took map 1. Knew they would, and I'm shameless. And they're looking really strong right here on Ancient.
Oh, they need to win. For your prediction to come true, Maui, they need to be on such a trajectory.
I don't know if it's happening. I'm losing hope. But I'm hopeful for the future of Big regardless of if they fulfill my prediction.
I think that is not unreasonable to be. I definitely think they could do a lot. Liquid in this game though, 14-8. Setting up a couple of people outside of the B bomb site. We'll see. I mean, in that last round, once they were sort of stationed, they looked like they called for a bit of a freeze, and then Hobbit showed up and Shiro showed up. So normally when you call for that kind of freeze, at least you're kind of expecting that if they show up, we're going to be able to punish them. That's sort of half the point of slowing that down.
Yep.
So it might be a bit frustrating when you're like, oh, they actually did what we kind of maybe wanted them to do, and we still couldn't really, we weren't ready, or we didn't have the tools to fight them. That's tough as well. Okay, so Nitro's been clearing out the restrooms in this round, and now they've brought the bomb back outside of the B bomb site. So seems like they just want to make sure that there's not going to be any quick reinforcements through connector when they go for this B execute.
Liquid are simplifying things, sending out shocks first. Oh, wide swing works out for him, takes down Inters, scaling onto the bomb site. He's all over, but Hobbit is able to finally recover. But Liquid, they fanned out a monster, all up to Nafty, can't find anything. Shiro, though, there's no heaven smoke right now. OC holds the line, post up on it so quickly to find the punish on the repeat from Shiro. Now Axel, he might be closer than Liquid expect.
Definitely is. 13 seconds. He's just around the corner, but Elige takes a better angle. You can see Axel was essentially preparing his aim for a swing more than anything else. So they get the round, and Shocks, good entry work. I think I'm actually a little bit shocked that his team was so far behind. I thought when he makes it his way the other way around the pillar that his team would already be a little bit further out. But it all works in the end, so good job.
That's kind of more of a set piece from Liquid. I actually had no fears that some of their set pieces would work against players, but it would still be nice to see them have a little bit more success in a more default round. Either way, it's cool to see that they get one on the board. They do confirm the fact that they have a lot to work with, and okay, once again in a default, they find a kill, but it's been so tough for them to convert 5v4s.
Yeah, they've had way more often than you normally get. It's been a bit of a luxury for them to get the openings right here. But they need the next step of that playbook. Inter's all the way back. Super hard position to clear if you're coming through the tunnel. Especially with an org like that. Shocks going down. We're back into 4-on-4. Shiro is kind of defending the A side from really far up. He's on his own out there.
Yeah, but he's securing so much information. There is, of course, a gamble in what Shiro's doing that if anybody sneaks up long, they would be able to backstab him. And it does seem like he's recognizing that that timing does exist. That's why he's clearing this position out. But after he figures this out, he can just key back into what's going on in bathrooms. And that's really scary for Liquid.
Just making his way past. 37 seconds. Let's see. Nitro recognizing the gap in the defense, or at least thought he did. That smoke did go down, but Nafany actually beating the smoke just to the punch. Otherwise, I actually love that idea from Nitro. He knew that maybe he could close out Shiro over on long, and they could actually get that bomb control, but how do you get through this? 17 seconds, pushing a double defended monster tunnel. It's a nice opening, but both Elige and Naf and OC to follow it up, third in line, taking him down. 9 seconds here, gonna try and see if he can grade down on top, but it's not gonna stop the bomb plant. And it's a 1 versus 2. Shiro, kinda tricky to do with an AWP.
Oh. Everything would indicate from how Shiro's been playing this series that he would go for this one, but think he's reverting back to his old ways. The game's getting a little bit closer.
Yeah.
And you want to keep this op moving forward. They still have a lot of money to work with on players, but this is a little bit scary just because it shows a mindset change for players, that they are recognizing that this game is a little bit tougher to close out than they may have first expected, and he wants to make the most of every kill, every death, every weapon. This is cool, though. Oh, he's going to pick off Oat.
He could have.
Safe option from OC.
That was an incredible entry for the Monster Tunnel. I really did not expect that. That looked like it should have never worked. So credit where credit is due. They have some tools to work with. I mean, even getting the frags through the Monster Tunnel to begin with is going to be relevant for the future of Liquid in terms of playing overpass. This is something you need to be able to do, basically.
Yeah, and there was actually a good flash over the Monster Tunnel. Even though the person we were spectating at the moment didn't get blinded, it does seem like the guy farther back did. So, well done. Well put together from Liquid. Just a clean single flash and trade through the Monster Tunnel. Opens things up for them. But it was off the back of an opening pick. I want to see if Liquid in a 4v5 now. I'm just upping the ante. I want to see if they lose a pick here, do they have any chance of closing a round out? Shocks. Okay, another 5v4 for Liquid. Maybe we won't see that challenge today.
They're getting an unusual amount of opening kills for, especially for not having played the map that much. I'm super impressed by that part. You're right that there's a lot more lacking, but if you had to take away some of the positives here, it kind of means if they can fix the rest of their game on overpass and keep the opening kills, then it's all good.
It is something to build off of. Okay. We're having a slow, long approach from Liquid towards the long side. I don't think there's anyone spotting. Axile's just playing the corner. Good flash. Information traded by both teams. But with 30 seconds left, this becomes pretty apparent to players what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm worried now because Nafany has another Molotov that, he just put out towards that position. It's going to cut really deep into that timer. They just have to go for it now. 15 seconds on the clock. Elise has already gone down, and now it's a giant 3- or 4-way crossfire getting into this. You're never getting up from those stairs. Axile with a double, running into Shocks out long, but there's only 4 seconds left. They cannot win the round. And Nafany... Yes, he is.
Oh, he wanted to kill after time.
That's upsetting. 15-10, and this really is becoming more of a research project than anything else, because we're learning the same thing over and over again here. Opening kill, this time Shocks down outside of the B-bomb site. They get all of the real estate that they want outside of the A-bomb site, and they can't do it. They can't actually get onto the site to get the bomb down.
Yeah, in terms of learning about Liquid, this is it actually is a really entertaining game.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But it's just that, when they get close to the site, it seems like players, their defenses, there's a reason that players are so good at this map. It doesn't matter if they're being proactive with the defense, doing something in the mid-round, or they're just stuck on the site. Every single phase of the round, they have very just solid procedures. They're good at playing off of each other, and Liquid are learning that the hard way, that, you could find the first pick, but when we're on the site, we're still one of the best teams out there, and pushing us back is not even that disadvantageous.
Yeah, they'll take it. They're happy to just defend from that position. Moving into the 26th round, we got a Deagle on OC again. He did die right at that timer. And AKs on the rest. Forward control this time. Want to try and see if they can beat Shocks to this position. They're falling back with their backs turned. This seems like a massive mistake. Huge 3-for-1 opening. And Liquid looking very much like they're going to be picking up that 11th round here.
Nice shot.
God.
This was Liquid saying, hey guys, we've been doing such a good job at finding opening picks. What if we try to find 3 at the same time? That's not actually what happened. They had a cool B split.
It's a winning formula. But
yeah, that would be a great strategy if you could implement it that easily. But
what if we say all of them are opening kills and we just get all 5? Rename them.
Exactly. Just it's all about perspective and things like that.
I like what players are doing pushing down, because they have been fighting a bunch of people in that sewer area, but then it seemed like they just fell back with no regard for what was happening in connector at all, which is a little bit wild.
Yeah, it seems like players wanted to also take short control at B, and it's cool to see players just maybe throwing some different plays out, because they're not usually a team that fights for water all too much. They're almost too comfortable playing on the B side. Sometimes it looks like they will lose, but that's when their crossfires are actually at their strongest. So interested in this. Yeah, they actually, that was a very awkward setup for players actually.
20 kills on OC.
Good to see. Good to see that. OC, he was the strongest performer from Liquid on Dust 2 when they got blown out, but he still managed 11 kills, and to see him keep it up with 20, that's very nice too.
It's 27th round. 15-11. 4 rounds away from getting into overtime. I feel like that would be such a wake-up call to players, because they really should, by any measure, they should be winning this map, and maybe even a little bit comfortably. So this, we're in new and uncharted territories here.
This is not the best buy for players. We see that they don't have too much money beyond this either. So if Liquid can pick this up, the game is going to be incredibly close in terms of where Liquid can go with it. And Elige, he's been having a lot of success at Connector, making his way up. Shiro holds the line. Nice flick from Shiro. He finds the tag, but not the kill.
Yeah, that could have got really scary. Does put some pressure on Elige for the rest of the round, obviously, to figure out how to position yourself. Shiro's just taking up the next angle, which, we'll see. OC's running for it here. Is he going to beat them to it? Yes, he will. It could have been that Shiro would have come here to go for a swing, but he's positioned a little bit further back inside of the bomb site. And they're clearing out. They're getting so much map control from Liquid. This is kind of a nice way to see, again, if they can handle that default once they have the control.
And we see a 2-1-2 default, more or less, at present. And Elige with the bomb, he actually wants to go towards B. This is an interesting development. This is almost a state we haven't seen for a while, where players are playing so passively that there has been no opening kill for the first minute and a half of the round. And Liquid, it really feels like they're trying to sell a fake with Nitro right now. He's moving up towards A. If he gets any kills, that's massive, but they're already sending it outside of Monster. Nitro can't even get into the round just yet, and they're already going for it, but it might just work. Enters, though, around the pillar, last line of defense. OC takes him down, but he has to pull out the Deagle, and there's a... Oh, okay, OC's right there with the shot, and he's legged by Shiro. Shiro, there's 5 seconds left. He's considering going for it, just wants to look for the spam. 7 HP. OC, he's dancing with him. He's dancing with him. Oh, missed shot. Both players know where each other's is, and still, somehow this fight is still going on, but Shiro finally closes it out. He knew where OC was that entire time, but OC, he was being so tricky with it, but it will be players to close it out.
Oh, what a painful way for it to end. I think we learned a lot today.
Yes.
In terms of Liquid. I don't know about the first map. I think we could just kind of forget about that, but this one was definitely way more interesting. Obviously, players still an incredible team, especially on Overpass. But yeah, Liquid looked like they could be playing this map in the future, and even to quite a high level, I would say.
Wouldn't mind seeing it. This was not a bad start for a 5-man lineup that has never played Overpass together, but it will be players that secure that second seed in the group. Liquid will be third. Both teams still advancing to playoffs, but good match, good map, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And this whole group has been incredible for OC, so that's also a nice takeaway. We'll see what the desk has to say when we come back after the break. Stay tuned.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, I know him. The guy from G2.
So I just think that it's Nico probably. But, okay.
It's Nico for sure.
Super, are you serious? What is that? Super, you can't be doing this. That's not allowed.
I don't really know.
What did he say? I don't even understand, to be honest. It's someone from London, maybe.
I don't think that it's Maisie or Alex. They are like serious
like
boys, so it's Australian players.
Ah!
No chances for us. I don't remember their nicknames.
Sterling. Sterling.
Tough.
Я просто не знаю другие никнеймы.
Remember, this is Bandit country. Shoot everything that moves.
Is it player?
It's not player. Machine?
Yeah, it's machine, right?
It's not machine, it's not the kids, it's a player. Okay, one more time.
Remember, this is Bandit country.
Рез?
Shoot everything that moves.
Рез.
Рез?
Да.
Вообще неплохой.